Hey, what's up, y'all? Wanted to make another quick video. Had this conversation with another friend the other day, and it seems to be coming up a lot with all the layoffs happening and a lot of folks out searching for a new job. And that's the topic of applying for jobs. Pretty funny how the topic came up is we saw a couple posts on LinkedIn about folks saying that they've applied to 100 jobs, 200 jobs, and they still haven't really gotten any hits, or maybe just like, you know, five five return messages and the rest are rejections. Wanted to bring this up, something that I experienced myself again, give you a little bit of background. Uh, Applied to several thousand jobs, probably tens of thousands at this point. And I'm not saying that to brag. And I'll explain what I even mean about applying to that many jobs over the time of my career. So, uh, want to talk about this a little bit. I'm not sure why this isn't really mentioned, but a lot of jobs that you apply for in general are essentially black holes, right? A lot of these jobs listings in general are not even looking. They might be duplicates for whatever reason. So the ratio that I always like to tell people is for every one job you apply to, really just mark that down as maybe half a job or even a quarter of a job applied to. Um, a lot of folks get very discouraged when they start hitting those numbers like 100 or 200 or 300, and they're confused as to why they're not getting very many returns. And to be honest, most of the time, not only are you might not even be hitting the keyword searches for it to appear in front of a recruiter, but a lot of the times those jobs that you're applying to are not even hitting anybody's desk in general. Think about it from the company's point of view, right? It's not as simple as them posting jobs. A lot of people that are recruiting that are out in the market, unfortunately, and I'm not saying anything bad about recruiters or anything like that, but they have a job to do. There's quotas to meet, especially at recruiting firms, to post certain amount of jobs, to get a level of engagement, and do certain things. Even at some companies, it's required for them to make a job posting for a job that they even have internal hire that they already know exactly who they're hiring for, just to show a fair to have a fair advantage for anyone else that's you know looking to to fill that role. So keep that in mind when you're applying for jobs. It's not as simple as you apply for a job, you don't hear back, you get ghosted or you get rejected, and that's just that wasn't for you. There's so many factors to leading up to one job posting that it's essentially just not that simple. So when I hear folks that's applied to 100 and 200 jobs, to me that's like, to me I'm like, okay, you've probably applied to maybe 30 to maybe 50 real jobs that folks are actually actively looking for, and I think that might even be on a good week. So just something to think about. Another aspect to think about with this is um, just don't be afraid of those rejections, right? Like, that's the second part of it. A lot of folks might get through, they might get rejected, or they might get the automated rejection letter, and those are many times extremely discouraging. Once you once you start getting a ton of those, it it's like sometimes you might even, myself included, might even think that maybe I'm unqualified for that job in general, and just know that that's, for the most case, is not true. A lot of the times, if you didn't interview with them and you got that automatic rejection, you probably didn't even make it in front of someone's desk again. No physical human probably even looked at your listing or looked at your resume, and a lot of the times it's just not even a reflection of if your resume was good or bad in respect to that job. I will say that there's definitely, if you have a good resume, not taking any of that away, right? If you have a good resume, if you have good experience, you will get more hits than others. Um, but this is just another side of the story that I don't quite think a lot of folks are talking about in general. I'm going to leave you with this as well. A lot of the times, these job postings, they're they could also potentially lead into secondary jobs. So when you're applying for a single job, if it has a good if you get a response, if it goes well, even if it's not exactly what, you're leveling, or it's maybe under your leveling, I think you should personally try for it. So one kind of strategy that I kind of tell some of my friends is, hey, if you're not they might not be a senior engineer at their previous position, but they might have great skills and they might be better or worse than they actually think they are. So my suggestion is always to just apply for jobs that you think will fit for you, even if the title says senior or whatever it may be, and you're not quite a senior yet. The worst thing that can happen, and this happens many times, is that the companies will make or create a new position for you that fits your needs if they think you're a good fit. So joining a place or interviewing for a position that's senior, you happen to be a good fit for the team, they might make a new role for you and move you down to a mid-level. That's there's a lot of caveats with that as well, but just know that applying for a job listing, getting rejected isn't as basic as you think. It's a very diluted and complex process now, especially since it's easier than ever to create a job listing. So I think my number one advice here is that on both the sides of the spectrum, right? If you're applying for jobs, don't be afraid. I think the number one tip I have is don't be afraid to apply to even more jobs. Uh, One job listing, in my opinion, it doesn't mean you apply to one job. So go after it, go out there, hit some more applies, and don't be afraid to even click jobs that you are not quite as qualified for. Because on the other spectrum of that, and on the other side, there's potential there that if you're a good fit, they'll figure out a way to make you fit at the company. So yeah, just a little bit of advice. If you don't take away anything here, is that you know the only if you don't take away anything else, just know that you should at least look back at how many jobs you're applying for. Don't think about that number by physical applies. Up your applies and see if you get better results. Uh, let me know if you let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you agree or don't agree. Would love to hear kind of your thoughts on that, and especially if you're a recruiter or if you're someone that has that experience. Would love to on the recruiting side. Would love to hear your thought process on that as well. See you on the next one. Latest.